From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Trial has been set in the case of a Fairbanks woman accused of murdering her toddler.
Amberlynn Swanson is charged with the murder of her son, 18-month-old Julian Swanson Bird. Court documents allege the boy died of blunt force trauma and had been dead for some time before he was brought to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital by Swanson. Swanson is currently being held at Highland Mountain Correctional Center in Eagle River. Defense attorneys for Swanson are in the process of trying to enter her polygraph test into evidence. However, that issue remains up to a court of appeals. Today, trial was set for the week of September 14th. State prosecutors expect it to last 3 weeks. Now, if convicted, Swanson would face a minimum of 20 years in jail and a maximum of 104 years.
A Fairbanks grand jury has indicted a North Pole man accused of murdering his estranged girlfriend. 33-year-old Russell Burris was indicted this afternoon on a single count of first-degree murder in the death of 21-year-old Mandy Clemens. Troopers believe Burris shot Clemens outside a North Pole home and then attempted to commit suicide by overdose. The estranged couple was married but never filed paperwork. They also shared a 7-month-old child together. Troopers recovered what they believe is the murder weapon, as well as a recording implicating Burris. An investigation into the homicide is ongoing. Burris will next appear in Fairbanks Superior Court for an arraignment.
Alaska State Troopers have confirmed a North Pole man whose body was found near the Tanana River in Fairbanks died as a result of a gunshot wound. 21-year-old Todd Nozel's body was discovered on Sunday on a dike near the river. Troopers declined to release the exact location where the body was found, but did confirm the death is being investigated as a homicide.
Department of Environmental Conservation crews were called last night to clean up a reported fuel spill at the Safeway in North Pole. According to officials, the spill was called in around 8 p.m. The fuel operators were apparently filling the store's tank when nearly 100 gallons overflowed into the parking lot. A representative for the fuel company refused to comment. Firemen at the location said it could take hours to clean the lot. All puddles and snow have to be removed, as well as dirt and gravel from the affected area. Motorists were unable to access the parking lot until it was cleared by DEC.
It seemed that Fairbanks Fuel had a potentially up to 100-gallon fuel spill at Safeway North Pole. They've contacted DEC. They've got equipment on the way to clean up. They've got several cases of absorbent pads to contain the fuel spill. In this case, it's diesel fuel, so we make sure there's no obvious ignition sources nearby that would ignite the fuel.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough School District has struck an agreement with the Fairbanks Education Association to postpone the delivery of non-renewal contract notices to more than 200 district employees. Under terms of the previous agreement, today was the deadline for the school district to deliver non-renewal notices to tenured and non-tenured teachers, as well as to other certified staff who had previously received doubtful status notices. That delivery will now be held off until May 14th. The FEA Executive Board of Directors approved extension at 8 o'clock last night. Now, depending upon action yet to be taken by the state legislature and the Borough Assembly, the school district faces as much as a $17 million budget shortfall. Superintendent of Schools Karen Gaborg did send a letter to teachers today explaining the situation. She told us she's thankful the letters did not include what equates to pink slips.
If I had to give them a letter today and I didn't definitely have a position for them, they would have received letters of non-retention, which means they have no recall rights, no layoff rights, nothing like that. They would just have found out today that they had no job and they would not be eligible for placement back into any vacant positions. So it was huge. And you know, we just don't know the final budget yet. And I just felt like that was an extreme decision to make this early in the process.
All right, when we come back, a blaze at a home in Esther happened this afternoon, and we were there. We have those details.
Also, we'll give you an update on the overflow problem from the Sag River on the Dalton Highway. Those stories are next. Stay with us. And welcome back. Area fire departments responded to a blaze at a home in the Esther area this afternoon. Esther and Chena Goldstream firefighters were first out on the initial call. They received mutual aid assistance from Steese University and City of Fairbanks. The flames destroyed an outbuilding believed to be a detached garage, and there was damage to the nearby house on Wakota Drive off Gold Hill Road. The Esther Fire Department is investigating the cause of the blaze.
Approximately 2 o'clock, we were called to a structure fire here on Wakota Drive. Arrived on scene and found a garage fully involved, and the exposure of the house was starting to catch on fire when we arrived. No injuries. We believe the homeowner has gotten out for sure. We went face to face with them, and they're safely out.
The Dalton Highway remains closed from mile 399 to mile 405 due to overflow from the Sauk River. The Alaska Department of Transportation has 16 employees working to open the road with side dumps, excavators, dozers and plows. Now 2 hired contractors are also assisting with additional staff and equipment. The Dalton Highway flood is a result of water overflow from the Sauk River happening since mid-March. DOT officials say they are trying to divert the floodwater by breaking ice blockages on the river.
Shovels turned dirt on an $88 million surgery suite replacement project at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital this afternoon. The project is being funded by the Greater Fairbanks Community Hospital Foundation. FMH and foundation officials broke ground on a 2-year modernization project to replace the facility's operating rooms. Construction will take place on the north side of the building and is expected to be complete in 2017. The outpatient and Porter Heart and Vascular Centers will remain operational throughout the project. The surgery suites were built in the 1970s and haven't seen major upgrades since the 90s. Construction Committee Chair Scott Bell says the 6 existing suites will be converted to 7 600 to 900 square foot operating rooms outfitted with the latest in surgical equipment.
Yeah, they're designed for the latest technology and as far out as people can and professionals in the field can predict we will need. And we've kept them as flexible as we can, like to just create space and then fill it in as we can as technology improves and becomes more and more in use in the future.
The Alaska Division of Forestry says permits are now required in the state for open burning. The permits will be needed from now until the end of August for burning piles of organic debris and for controlled burns. Fire Prevention Officer Michael Goyette says the worst time to burn debris is between spring and summer, during the time when snow is melted but vegetation isn't green yet. He says those who light open fires are ultimately responsible for putting them out. You can obtain a permit online at forestry.alaska.gov. Goyette says if you do plan on burning any time during the summer, make sure you do it away from structures and dry vegetation.
The perfect environment is to have dirt or material that is non-combustible under your pile and around your pile. State statute and law requires mineral soil year-round, even if there's snow on the ground.
24 years ago, a grassroots effort was created to fight hunger. Local potters working with the community to create handcrafted bowls. Empty Bowls has been one of the most successful fundraisers offered by Community Food Bank each year. Artists from the Fairbanks Pottery Guild combined their efforts to create a unique variety of bowls of all shapes, sizes, and materials. The bowls are then sold with all of the profits going right back into the food bank.
We've been doing this project because we believe that no one should have an empty bowl in Fairbanks, and this is an easy way to have an open house, have people come in and see what we do, and sell some bowls. It's a significant signature event for us. It's very easy for people to understand that when they buy a bowl, it helps to fill someone else's bowl. But that's what we do here, is we collect money to collect food so that we can serve local people who need to have something to eat.
All right, so TGIF, and today is National Siblings Day.
It is.
So I shared a fun little picture on Facebook of me and my little brother as a baby. What about you? Have you shared?
No, I didn't know about it, but I know it's TGIF, and thank goodness it's Fussell. That's right.
That's good.
Mike Fussell is next with sports, filling in for Joe Cook.
I like that.
Oh, thanks.
That was very creative.
All right.
You can keep reading because that's.
Oh, gotcha. It's coming up next.
And welcome back, sports fans. Mike Fussell here to get you caught up on the latest interior action. We have a very busy weekend ahead of us. Of course, the Ice Dogs are in the playoffs. Check back for those results tonight at 11. But first, competition at Arctic Man is now on hold for the day as a mixture of rain and snow move through the Hoodoo Mountains. That made for less than ideal racing conditions. Some events were in progress, but now all will be pushed back until tomorrow. And you just might happen to catch some Alaska Nanooks out of their natural habitat if you swing by campus this weekend. That's because UAF student athletes and staff will be competing against each other in sports they don't normally play. The event is called the Nanook Olympics, and it's open to the public on Saturday. Admissions will be donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Several other charitable organizations will benefit from the event as well. Junior volleyball player Sam Hartoon says the event brings the athletes closer together and makes them respect the challenges of each other's sports.
I like playing other people's sports because it gives me a lot more respect for it. You know, I have to swim, so I go to swim meet and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're swimming back and forth how many times? I'm like, I have to go down once and come back and I'm gonna die. So it's definitely great for all the sports teams to get a little bit more respect for each other.
And the trails at Birch Hill will be busy this weekend as the 13th annual Ski for Women event is set to kick off on Sunday afternoon. The 5K course is not timed and considered a just for fun style race, but the competition is expected to be fierce in the event's costume contest, as many participants dress up for the celebration. Organizers say the goal of the race is to get women and girls from the interior interested in the sport. Proceeds will also be donated to the Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living to help those in abusive situations throughout the area. Kelsey Tyler is on the Ski for Women Planning Committee and says the event truly makes a difference in the community.
Seeing women come together, it's like, I think that's the biggest impact it has, is knowing that so many women and kids come together and just have that healthy bond, and knowing that you have other people in the community who like to do what you do, but also for the proceeds, it's our biggest fundraiser of the year. We use that money for prevention, for direct service, like tons of stuff.
The Harlem Globetrotters are coming to town to take on the Washington Generals. The team will be dazzling crowds at the Carlson Center on Sunday. Globetrotters Slick Willie Shaw stopped by our studio to talk to J.R. Lewis this morning about the upcoming game. If you missed it, here's a look at what he had to say earlier today.
Welcome back. We're talking with Slick here from the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. You never let me leave that part out. Pretty excited to be up here?
Very excited to be up here in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yeah, tell us what we're going to see now when we come to the show.
Well, this year you're going to see our 2015 Washington Generals Revenge World Tour. We haven't played those guys in over 5 years. Last time, you may not know, we lost to those guys was 1971. Also, you get a chance to see, when you come see the world-famous Harlem Globetrotter, family, wholesome fun. For the whole entire family, whether you're 4 or 84 years old, is something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You're going to see some high-flying slam dunks. You're going to see some long trick shots. And you're going to see some great basketball, you know, and family wholesome fun. And you never know what's going to happen, too. You might get a bucket of water on you, or it might be confetti, so you just better be ready.
What is this 4-point shot?
Well, a 4-point shot is 35 feet from the basket and 12 feet from behind the NBA line. And we have some of the great 4-point shot shooters. And once we make those, the crowd loves that and electrifies. It's not something that you see normally on an everyday basis.
Now, we've got a guy on our staff, our sports guy, Joe Cook, who thinks that he's going to be bringing some game to this.
I keep hearing about this Cook guy. Let's see what he has.
Challenge, yeah. Let's check him out.
As you can see, I'm taking this very seriously in the gym, putting in some work, getting up some shots. Harlem Globetrotters, man, I'm coming for you, man. Me and the Washington Generals, get ready.
Well, what do you think? Are you intimidated?
I love his enthusiasm. I love the hard work. Kids, hard work. See that hard work Joe put in? But he doesn't stand a chance.
Oh, no. Well, it definitely looks like Joe's got his work cut out for him. And as you saw, Joe Cook will be getting into the action with the Generals on Sunday. So that about brings us to the buzzer for sports tonight. Remember to check in tomorrow at 6 and 11 for the only weekend sportscast in the interior. Mike Schultz is up next with your full weather forecast. Have a good weekend.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fbx Evening News for a Friday evening. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about weather. Just checked the latest radar and the weather observations in the Delta Junction area, and it's snowing there, so it is moving our direction. Unfortunately, we'll show you that on the radar in just a little bit. Look at our photograph for tonight. This one's sent by Karen Garrity. Birds have arrived at Kramer's Field, so the first geese have already arrived, and also some, looks like swans to me. I'm not sure. They may be white geese, but they look like swans. Anyway, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos at ktvf11.com, and we'll be happy to share it with the rest of the audience. Here's your numbers right now. 45 is our high. Current temperature 45. The low last night 23. Record high almost 60 degrees in 1997. 32 below in 1911. Near sunrise and sunset 14 hours and 44 minutes of daylight. A gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite radar, you can see what's driving the moisture our direction. This area of low pressure is spinning around the Gulf of Alaska, helping to drive the moisture from a southwest to a northwest, or southeast to a northwest direction. And most of it is starting to move in across the Fairbanks area. On the latest radar, you can see the snow that is to the south of the Fairbanks area. Fairbanks sitting right about here. It is moving our direction, getting closer and closer. And we're looking at maybe a little light accumulation tonight. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, more rain falling across southeast Alaska, Ketchikan and Juneau. 40 degrees at Ketchikan. Anchorage looking at 40 degrees today, mainly cloudy skies. Cloudy skies around the Kodiak area with some fog also. 36 degrees and 36 at Cold Bay. Up and down the west coast, partly cloudy skies. Barrow at 11 degrees above, and Fort Yukon chilling down to 30 degrees from their high of 45 yesterday. Here's what's going on in the lower 48. More rain falling across the Pacific Northwest. That's in response to a frontal system that's moving in. We'll show you that a little bit later on. Thunderstorms rumbling across parts of Texas again, all the way across the Gulf Coast states, and that's going to continue as the flow becomes more strong, or stronger, I should say, out of the Gulf of Mexico, helping to bring that moisture ashore. Thunderstorms around Miami and partly cloudy skies in New York. On the satellite radar, the frontal boundary is showing up very well here in association with that area of low pressure that moved through last night. Unfortunately, brought a very, very strong tornado to the Chicago, Illinois area. And I should say mainly Illinois area, but near Chicago. And then more thunderstorms are rumbling across the deep south, as we said here. And over the west coast, you can see the frontal boundary of the next system moving in. And the overall jet stream for early next week is calling for more rain to move ashore of the Pacific Northwest, heavy storms to the south, and then maybe some showers across the Great Lakes. So all in all, nothing severe expected except for maybe the heavy rain over the deep south. Okay, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections show showers. How about snow showers for Barrow and Fort Yukon, and mostly cloudy for Nome. And as far as the interior, we're looking at periods of snow into the evening hours with 1 to 2 inches at Healy, and maybe an inch for Delta Junction and Fairbanks. And over the southeastern sections, widespread rain becomes showers in Juneau, with rain continuing in the Ketchikan area. Over to the southwest, looking at snow showers in Cold Bay, mostly cloudy at Bethel and also at Kodiak. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, looking at, for the most part, partly cloudy skies for Anchorage and Valdez, with isolated showers at Healy. Okay, let's take an update of what's going on around the Nenana Ice Classic. As you can see here, the ice thickness has once again dropped down a couple inches, 33.5. They're showing rotting ice, but no open holes are visible. And talking to Sherry Fournette today, she says that it looks like it's holding for right now, but it's getting pretty sketchy out there. We'll keep you advised next week. And as far as our forecast for tonight, well, more clouds with rain and snow developing. 25 degrees the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, periods of snow, maybe an inch possible, and 44 degrees. And the extended forecast calling for a little light snow to continue for Sunday and Monday, with mainly cloudy skies on Tuesday, and then sunshine for Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures cooling down and then warming back up again to near 50 degrees by next Thursday. And the overnight lows will also continue warming to the mid to upper 20s by next Wednesday and Thursday. But tonight and tomorrow, it could be a little dicey as far as the snow goes.
Well, that isn't too bad of a forecast for the weekend, I think.
We'd like to see more melting going on, but maybe some white stuff, but it won't be the shovel kind. It'll just be the kind you just kind of sweep away. That's about it.
So I got to ask, is Joe now coming on his way back due to what
happened
today?
Yeah, Joe let me know what was going on there, and he's on his way back. He's going to keep looking at the weather and see how things are tomorrow, and he might be back out at Arctic Man to check it out.
Well,
that's crazy.
The forecast down there is for partly cloudy tomorrow and Sunday, so it should be good weather.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
But
still,
right back.
Going there, right back. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's a lot of driving.
Yeah,
a lot of gas. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Well,
A lot of gas.
but it's worth it. I mean, it's a great event to go and watch and witness. All right, that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, Hillary Clinton is set to announce a presidential run this Sunday. That's next with Lester Holt.
A reminder to tune in tomorrow night to hear stories about the borough holding a special auction and a science event going on at UAF. These and other stories tomorrow on the Interior's only weekend news and sportscast.
Awesome. All right, we're going to leave you tonight with a video of a raven's nest outside of our studios. That's pretty cool. All right. From all of us here at the News Center, have a good weekend.